Welcome to Leadership in Colour. Today, my guest is Lisa Goodchild. Fantastic name in itself. So let's just go straight into that one. Lisa, welcome to the show. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and talk us through your name?
Yeah, my name is interesting, and obviously you can understand that throughout my life, people have asked me, "Was I a good child?" At school, am I a good child? No, I wasn't. I am a bad child for life, but bad child in a good way. Yeah, I am a little bit of a disruptor. About me, so I am from Southeast London. Southeast London, I think, is at the core of my heart and everything I do. I was lucky enough to grow up in a very diverse community. It's called SE20 Penge, which actually is where they apparently send all the poor people from Bromley, which is interesting. But it was a wicked community to grow up in because there was a lot of different types of people from different backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds, etc. My household was crazy. Childhood was a really interesting place. My mum has mental health issues that so I ended up having to be the mum of the family, but also, we were exposed to some pretty bad stuff. So really, really crazy, awful things when I think of how beautiful the life my daughters have had and have had. So I must say, I am a mum of two beautiful, amazing, gorgeous daughters, one 19, who works for EY and is on a degree apprenticeship, which I'm very proud of her. And Sophia, I'm extremely proud of her as well. She is 10. So yeah, watching their background. And when I look at my 10-year-old and I just think, yeah, she's coming up to her 11th birthday. And I keep on thinking about my 11th birthday. And I think it's because it was an awful day, really. And I suppose that's why I sway away from birthdays. My birthday's in January anyway. So everyone's poor, everyone's broke. They've got no money. So, but my mum on that day, I attempted to make myself spare ribs and then she beat me up in front of my friends because I didn't cook them properly. That was just normal life when I was a kid, waking up to my mum. I was woken up to helping her because she was trying to kill herself, or her getting me selling drugs at 13 as well. And literally actually weighing, meeting people, taking money, like it was deep what we went through. But I was so lucky that when I was around 19, I always loved technology. So my uncle gave us like the robot arm. We had people around us as well. We had diversity of people, so we were lucky, I think, as well. So my uncle gave me an arm, and I used to love it, like this robotic arm. And then I remember going to the Victoria and Albert Museum, and it was all about Japan and the technology, and I really loved it. I have my brother as well. So there was me and my brother. We're the same age for 10 days. I think that influenced me. And because we had nothing, there were no dolls. There were no, I didn't have that sort of life. I was out, I was climbing walls. And I just loved technology. And then I was lucky to have someone in my life that encouraged me to go to university. And I spotted a degree in digital media. And that was 20 odd years ago at Greenwich, and it was life changing. It taught me so much and gave me so much as well in terms of confidence. I got in the classroom, like there was a mixture of people from private schools, normal, comprehensives, different backgrounds, and there was only about 4 girls in the class because it was a computer science school. But I got the best in the class for the first piece of coursework, and I think
Nice.
that really, really helped me go, do you know what? I'm all right. So I got like 96% or something, and I thought I can do this. And then I sat at the front of class every single day. And actually, about 4 months ago, I did a talk to my old university, and my lecturer was there. Tony Mann, who's amazing, who had to fight for me to get in. And he was like, Lisa, I fought for you. And you sat at the front of the class every single day. And I came out with the first. And actually, Pritesh, he runs Accenture Song. I think he's in the Middle East now, actually. But he was there, and he was like, you know, the journey. I don't give myself the credit that I deserve as well for the journey that I went through just to get to university. Because where I came from, you didn't go to university. It was just not on the agenda. It was not a thing. You know, schools, I'm afraid, have a particular agenda for young people like me. When I was young, I went to school with Rachel Reeves. That was hilarious. So I went to school with Rachel Reeves. She was in my year. Her dad lives down the road from where I live now. And it's really interesting. They had her on a pedestal to go to, Russell Brick University. I think she went Cambridge or Oxford. Me, I was like, you know, didn't really have much for me in terms of support. And my work experience was at a nursery. And I always say, you know, I do love my children, but at that age, that nursery age, there's no way I was going to go into that as a career. So putting me as a nursery for work experience was just not the one. So yeah, I think that then I ended up creating DigiLearning through going through an amazing opportunity as well. I've had my own businesses, I've got investment. I took an idea to my old boss, and he invested $250,000, and I then walked away and I created DigiWoo, which is my social media consultancy that I have. So I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world, and I've had it for 15 years. So I've had the luxury of really, really being there at the groundbreaking fabulousness of social media when it was just so exciting to get a tweet live. You know, a brand, you know, you'd work ages to just get some tweets out there. So yeah, I've had an amazing career. And then I did the marketing academy, and that was brilliant. That gave me such an insight again in terms of leadership, community, the people within the marketing academy. There's some just amazing people, but again, a leveler made me realize that I can be who I want to be, and my background does not define that. And loving that journey and meeting some just brilliant people. Sherilyn Shackleton's lady that founded it, and she's just most amazing person. I'm also lucky enough to be a trustee on the charity there. It was there that I decided that I wanted to help young people. That came from my sort of background, that had the struggles that young people around me had, in particular young people that maybe didn't have a mum or dad, you know, in their life, and ended up in prison at 14. I mean, that is the biggest travesty for me in society. How are we allowing this to happen? So there's a little bit about me.
So Lisa, firstly, I will say as introductions go, that was the most introduction I've ever heard. And it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Did you say you went to Greenwich Uni?
Yeah, I managed to blag my way into Greenwich University. I
Yeah.
only had one GCSE, so school didn't really, you know, suit me.
That's fine. Did you go to school in and around Penge?
I went to school, so Cater Park, which is now
Peter Pan.
Bromley Harris, which Rachel Reeves, Ellie Reeves went to as well, her sister.
Very cool. And why computer science?
Yeah, and also I just knew that there was something in the internet. There was something exciting about it. I have no idea what was drawing me towards it, but I knew I had to do that degree.
It's quite a brave one, right? Because if I walked into a room, 90% or 95% women, I think I would feel a little bit uncomfortable in the classroom, right? Like I'd feel out of place. You know, all the obvious jokes aside, I'd feel a little bit out of place. So what made you stick to it? Because that's quite a brave move, right?
I don't think I've ever really felt out of place around men, I suppose. I was very lucky that when I was growing up as a young person, my mum had many male friends, and lots of them, I suppose, could see our situation and maybe cared. And then I had my brother, so I was always with my brother and his mates. So yeah, didn't really get intimidated by it. And actually, I'd already had my boyfriend for about, gosh, 4 years. I've been going out with my boyfriend since I was like 13. So I was very, you know, strong-minded, didn't like, I remember one young man thinking he had a chance. And I was like, mate, you got no chance. And he was like, okay. And then we became really good friends.
You referenced it. You mentioned the fact that there was hardly any women on this course. So do you reference it not because you felt out of place, but because you thought more women should have done it?
Yeah, I think more
Okay.
women should have done it in terms of, yeah, what it's given me.
Hmm.
Gosh, it was amazing. And the few of us that were on the course, and like you say, it was brave to do. But the community that we had around us, you know, young men, older men as well, because most of the teachers were male when I think about it,
Hmm.
which is normally not the case. But it's because it's tech, I suppose. Yeah, it was an amazing community that really, really looked after us, and we all looked after each other. So I was quite lucky as well. We had moved into the beautiful Christopher Wren Greenwich campus. So, you know, I was in a different world coming from a council estate and then walking through these just stunning buildings, just lapping it all up and like breathing in the breeze of the Thames.
You come out of university, you've got your degree.
Oh, it was
Got
dot-com crash. Dot-com crash.
got the dot-com crash, right? So
Yeah.
everyone that had their free serve stocks was crying.
Everyone had their boo.com software that they had
Yeah,
spent
yeah.
millions on, and yeah, it was just flat. But what was interesting was I started working with a lot of I started working with some footballers. So Kevin Campbell, he was brilliant. He's passed away now, bless him. And you know, there's a few people, Gary, who has also passed away, who was his best friend. They're from Brixton. So, you know, grew up from the heart of Brixton. And both of them were very passionate about music. So they got me to work on their music label, and I worked on a few other brands' music labels. So in the UK garage space, Kevin Campbell so was a hip hop label. Yeah, so really exciting times, and building websites for them, but also building websites for estate agents, because they were the ones that actually had some money and also had realized what they could be used for. I suppose they had their purpose, didn't they, then? So yeah, those were the industries that were sort of coming up within the tech space. And then I started working for a guy called Dan Wagner, and he bought the boo.com software. So we were taking, it was, nobody was online in terms of e-commerce. We were getting brands like Ted Baker, Mothercare, Panasonic, and again trying to sell it in, being like, this is really important, you need to be online, everyone's going to be online, buy in. And they were like, no, they won't be able to touch it and smell it, no one's going to be online. And everyone went online. So Dan was, I mean, he's absolute bloody genius, Dan Wagner. He's just got massive investment. He's got an AI platform around e-commerce that they've launched. And obviously he's had his ups and downs as well. And I was on a journey with him. I had my first daughter, and then I took an idea for him, which was the shopping comparison website. And he invested in me, and that didn't turn out to go the way I wanted it to, but at that time I learned a lot about social media. So it was all coming in. It was the first, you know, set of bloggers that weren't allowed to sit on the front row in the catwalk show, and everyone was being very snooty. And again, a new industry, but really exciting. You know, you're having to fight. I think there's been a consistency throughout my career that I love these new industries that you got to get hungry for, and you got to get excited about, and you got to really fight for people to listen to you, I suppose. I'm quite good at that. So I created my social media agency, because I walked away from the investment that Dan gave me and my business partner. And I said, I'm going to go and create my own agency. And it was then I actually became very good friends with my bestie, Shah Wasmond. She is just brilliant, and she was Dan Wagner's business partner at the time. So she took me under her wing. They were having a bit of a parting at the time as well. And Shah had an amazing platform called Smarter, and it was all about entrepreneurship, and it was unbelievable. So it was just the exciting time of entrepreneur, you know, when it started getting really trendy to be an entrepreneur. I remember someone sitting me down at the Ivy Club, as you do, and they went, Lisa, you do realize you're an entrepreneur and people are paying for this? And I was like, what are you talking about? You know, it was really interesting, because as you and I know, you know, in certain communities, in particular underrepresented communities or low socioeconomic communities, they are masters at entrepreneurship and hustling and trying to get through the day, because they are working on very limited resources, and yeah, they have to really make it happen. So I credit that to my upbringing.
So I think the entrepreneurship point that you make is really, really true. I mean, if you go back to that shop in Penge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you got Mr. Patel and his family building something and constantly trying to change things around, change the shelves around, change the format, you know, work out how you can get people around this. It wasn't a massive convenience store, right?
Yeah.
There is an element of entrepreneurship there, you know, solo trade, and then he did other stuff too, right? So,
Yeah.
but within those communities, it was, yeah, he's just got a corner shop, right? Like, and you'd have people who would either, you know, downplay it, fob it off, or some people that would look up to it and give it the respect that it needed, that it deserved. Um,
Yeah. Small business owners are at the heart and soul. They feed families, and you know, these big businesses feed investors. I
yeah,
think, yeah, what they have to make happen from nothing is phenomenal. Having to put up with us kids as well coming into that shop. You need to
yeah.
make.
Well, I mean, he from what I remember, he was quite a vocal man anyway. So, you know,
Yeah, I won't mess with him. No, he
Mm.
had it on lockdown from the beginning. Yeah, shops are the heart and soul of a community, and I think we really need to cherish that as well. My other half's grandfather, he had a shop in Brixton Hill, and everyone knows Mr. Holder, and he
Mm.
used to look after the community. And we had a shop actually, connected to our council estate, and Jay, his family are from Sri Lanka. They had the shop, they took it on from another family. And he was the heart and soul of the community. Like, he would make sure that he would tick everyone. He would be proud of everyone. When it was my birthday, he'd make sure I had the best champagne, influence my other half. He was that sort of cool guy. But he used to make sure that everyone was fed. And then Tesco's came down the road and ruined him.
So Tesco's aside, the reason
Yeah.
why I reference, that sort of culture and that community is just because you also spoke about your background,
Yeah.
and we know each other through MIFA.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to go into a little bit of your background. So what's your heritage?
My heritage. So my one grandma is Indian and grew up in India. One grandma's Jewish, Scottish, and grew up in Scotland. And one is from Maui, and then the other one's British. So you've got a real mixture of culture. And then my children have got even more culture within them in terms of you know different parts of the world. So I think we cover most continents, I believe, because Mia and Sophia have also got South American and Caribbean. So yeah, we're touching all the points of the world. And I think that's why I'm so passionate as well. And actually, when my nan, my great grandmother, she well, all of her children, none of them were put down on paper. And I noticed it really broke my heart actually on a blog. And it mentioned my great grandfather because he was he was a Victorian white man, um, who went to India where apparently no person would go. He wrote about 4 books on different dialects in India. So when you think, and he got really I suppose he had a CBE, he had a special medal and everything, but he never came back to the UK because of the way I think that they would have treated his wife. I don't even think he was allowed to marry her because of the culture at the time. So when you think of that, and none of the 8 children, so my nan and that, were listed as the children as well. So that was really, really sad. But I contacted that blog and corrected them. Said there are children, okay, you will be corrected. But when I think of my great great granddad and then living in Shillong and not even dare coming back because his family would not be accepted, it's really sad. And I suppose I take it for granted and count myself very lucky that my partner, he is British born, his mum is Jamaican, his dad is Guyanese and Bayesian. And I am so lucky that we are, in a good situation in terms of the way we're accepted in our society, because it could have been very different. Like, my great grandparents, they had it a very different situation.
But it's an interesting thing that you say there, because really under your household,
Yeah.
you've got, the entire contents of Uber Eats, right? You've got one of every single takeout option.
I have. But also, so my foster son, just to say, is Chinese heritage.
With this sort of like mixed bag of individuals in the household, you must come up against some level of, should we say, like animosity or what have you when you go out as a family. Like when you go out as a family, do you get any weird looks? Do you get any weird, comments or anything odd? Because I imagine, I've not seen a family picture, but I imagine everyone looks quite different.
Yeah, well, I have to say that my nan didn't get to meet my children because I didn't want her to. In terms, not my Indian grandma, my other side, my Scottish nan.
Okay.
But basically, what really is amusing is what she didn't realize is that her mum was Jewish, and that her mum then went and married someone from Brazil and someone from Mexico. But she had racist ways about her, and I was never going to let my children be exposed to that. So it was very sad that she never got to meet them, but I was never going to get to let her sit there and call anyone foreign or come out with a derogatory term. I've been very lucky that my girls, I think Mia, one time someone used the N-word to her in Spain, and that broke my heart. It was a kid in the playground. And you know, I'm so proud of my Mia though, because when Black Lives Matter was happening, one of the teachers used the N-word in a history lesson, and she wrote the teacher a letter, and she said, it's just not, why are you using that word? But she was just so eloquent, unlike her mum, who might have used some 4-letter words instead. But I've been so lucky that I've been very protected. His family are phenomenal, and I've been with him since I was 13. And I'm a very strong personality, as you can tell. I think people know that I just won't take any nonsense, but also I think I've been in the right environments where I've been completely accepted, and our family are completely accepted. So I surround myself with really good people. So I've been lucky.
Did you feel like you were different from everyone else in your school, or did
Mm.
you feel like you were the same?
I was so different because we were the kids that nobody was allowed to play with. We were the bottom of, there's many forms of council estates. There's many levels on the council estate. There's people that own their own houses. You know, they can pretend that they're from a council estate, but they own their own house. They're not from a council estate. There's people that have got family, mum and dad. We were rock, no dad, no mum. We had no food. We were knocking on doors. We were right riffraff. We would go from one group to another. But it gave me such phenomenal skills in my adulthood, but only because I've been able to embrace it. Lots of people can't do that, or have a difficulty. And I've had good people around me that have brought the best out of me. So that's why I am so passionate about creating that environment to help young people grow, because they need to be nurtured if they can't see what they can be. It's so tough out there for our young people as well.
So talk to me a bit about DigiLearning. So what does DigiLearning do?
So DigiLearning is an incubator for young talent. We help young talent find their superpowers, and we help industry find their superheroes. So we have various programs ranging from our year-long Girl Rise program, where we take girls from around the world, because it's a digital platform. So we have young people in Barbados, Jamaica, South Africa, to Pakistan, to the USA, to France, to Spain, and to the UK. So our online version is really powerful because we can have that community element with everyone around the world. And we also have our face-to-face versions. We take young people through 3 fundamental levels, teaching them about personal development. So all those things about, what's your vision, what's your goal, how to deal with harsh situations, body language, all of those things, financial literacy, digital literacy, the things that you don't really get taught in school. Level 2 is about business, so getting young people to understand business. People like TikTok, to Financial Times, to Matter of Form will come in and give us masterclasses to our young people. And then level 3 is about helping them create that brand profile, that personal brand that they need to create to start growing in the profession that they want to grow in, and understanding the roles that exist out there, but also how do they get to those roles, that pathway plan, and surrounding them with mentors and coaches as well. So, all those things that are really important. And then we take them on experiences. So taking them to Cannes Lions, taking them to Miami, to Possible, which was phenomenal. Cannes Lions is off the hook as well, and we're really excited to be doing more next year, and taking them to events and in rooms so they start feeling like they belong in a room. Because myself, I was so different where I grew up, like we was discussing. And I think, and actually what was really interesting, the only people that took us in, were usually the Black families that took us in. They were the ones that looked out for us. Like Matthew, he's like my uncle. He used to drive me around and drop me off. And, his mate had a big sound system in the car park in Streatham. I used to go there and listen to some tunes when I was like 11. But I had these amazing families. My mate Michael's mum, she used to feed us. Do you know what I mean? We knew we could go there for a bowl of cereal. But yeah, really, really cool. So yeah, young people understanding that they have support. So our young people can contact me anytime they want. You know, they got a job application, I will sit there and help them through it. We've got other volunteers as well, some amazing volunteers who support us. And we've been working hard for the last 5 years without hardly any funding. We're a charity. You can see what funding we do get online. It's very, very basic. And we've made massive opportunities happen, and our young people are thriving, and we are finally getting some big brands that are taking notice and taking us under their wing, which is really powerful, because I believe that going forward, bringing in a lot of community, working with our other charity partners and other not-for-profits, etc., we can really, really create something very powerful.
So I feel like you're in a position of authority to answer this question,
Mm.
right? What advice would you give to new people starting off in either the media industry or just in the world of work?
Yeah, in the world of work, I would say research the industry that you're going to go into and find your communities that exist within that space, because there are some brilliant communities. As you and I know, you've got MIFA. I've got a phenomenal group called Digital Leading Ladies, which is basically half of MIFA in there as well, the women. We about 8 years ago, Julia Linehan, she used to be Smithy, but she got married. She and I were meeting for lunch. A few others joined us, and now there's over 500 women in that group, and they are the most phenomenal women. And like MIFA, you can put in a question, you can approach people, you can ask people, but yeah, find some mentors as well. And it was a couple of years ago, Karen Blackett, she was giving a roundtable to our young people, and it was having maybe 4 mentors, but some that are not maybe in the industry as well, who can also give you an insight. But I think approach people, even if it's just for a coffee. And life, it can be really scary. I'm scared all the time, you know. I have to get myself right. People think, oh, she's so confident. It's a lot of bravado. I have to puff my chest. I have to get myself going and, you know, really think and make myself do it sometimes. And then other times it's really exciting. But I do have to be brave a lot. And I would say that be brave, take up opportunities as well, get inside rooms and speak to as many people as you can. There's some monsters out there, don't get me wrong, but your brilliant, amazing people will help you get through those situations as well. And when there's a bad situation, don't think it's ever that bad. There's always a next day, tomorrow, and you can restart and learn.
Yeah, I like a lot of what you're saying there, because it's true that the community aspect is really, really helpful for sure. I went at it alone for a long time, and it's only when I realized that
Mm.
there is this strength in numbers that I probably got a little bit more acceleration, a little bit more wind in my sails. So yeah, I definitely do agree with you there. And then I think the other thing is that most people in this world have a little bit of an ego, right?
Yeah,
And you pinging someone to say, hey, look, I really respect you. Let me grab a coffee because I just want to pick your brains on something. Massages my ego in particular, and I'm sure others too. I'd like to think that again, most people are actually quite nice as well, so that
yeah,
they're unlikely to say no. If they don't have time, they might say, "Hey, can we just make it a call, 20 minutes or what have you?"
yeah.
But usually you'll get something, and you'll have some sort of lesson learned. And I also say from every interaction, regardless if it's positive or negative, there's always something learned, right?
Exactly.
So just try it out. And I think you're a great example of someone who does just sort of like put herself out there and tries things out, and let's be honest, I mean, it doesn't look like you're really that scared of anything. But
Think that's because of my childhood, and I've got amazing mentors around me.
mm,
So, you know, when you've got people like June Sarpong, Kanye King, Shah Wasmond, Mary King Dawson, Vanessa Valley, what's interesting and what I've started realizing about all of those women is they all grew up on counsellors' days and they all made it happen so against the odds and had to fight so much harder. We know the stats for amazing Black women, how much they have to fight harder to get anywhere. You
mhm,
know, I think it's 1.8% or something in our industry of Black people, let alone Black women. Having those people around me, and I thank the world that my daughters have got that, you know.
mhm.
because they've got this ridiculous, like they're going to think it's, you know, and that's what you want. And just that community, they are my community. I've got my communities. They mean that, like you say, we can tap in to them. If we've got a problem, if we can say into me, for I've not got a location for an amazing event I'm supposed to put on, and everyone tries to help you. That is powerful stuff. And like you say, I think when you come from struggle, having to make it happen, you have this independence, and sometimes you've got to let go and go, it's all right. You can ask for help.
Absolutely great advice. All right, a couple of things I want to do before we wrap up. So one is there anything about DigiLearning you want to talk about apart from the fact that 2025 is going to be a fantastic year? Is there anything that's keeping you up at night that you'd like to share with the audience?
We need more opportunities for young people in terms of job roles and work experience. So that's keeping me up at night, because I think for the last few years, there's been a massive reduction in those roles. As we've seen, you know, after COVID, we had the Kickstarter campaign. So that got a real investment in young people, and obviously people getting money to employ young people. So now I think it's coming. So I've been hearing that, you know, 2025 again is going to give us those roles. But yeah, we really do need industry to start investing in young people, and also to remember that you can learn so much from young people. They're digital natives, and we're all on a learning curve, and we're all growth. We all need to be growth mindset, and the young people bring a lot to the play.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Okay, and I mean this in the sweetest possible way, because I know that you're going to walk away from this recording and you think, "Gosh, I wish I'd mentioned X." But
Yeah.
any other, because you've done a fair amount of name dropping there, because there are lots and lots of fantastic people in your world. Is there anyone else that you want to give a quick shout out to?
Anyone else want to give a quick shout out to? Oh, my young people, my young DigiLearning ambassadors, who this year have been my saviors and have supported what we're doing at DigiLearning, and have joined us in Cannes and in Miami and possible. Yeah, they're just shining brightly like the people they are. I'm super proud of them, and you can just see the progress they've made through having community, through having support, and us all supporting each other, because I learn as much from them as they learn from me.
I think you're right. I think that ambassador group is phenomenal, and it's great in terms of the work that you're doing with them, and
Yeah.
I'm totally in awe of the work that you're doing. If that was available when I was coming up through
Yeah.
the ranks, or pre, you know, that I just remember, for example, having to justify going to Cannes the first time round, and then I was sent for like the Thursday and Friday. And for anyone that understands Cannes, that's the dead time, Thursday and Friday, right? Like, so trying to make the most out of Thursday and Friday, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just hard work. But yeah, so you know, these opportunities going to possible, going to Cannes, going to whatever it is, I think is yeah, I think these are opportunities, and also there's a lot in what you said about being comfortable in those rooms, because,
Yeah.
because I still feel like a little bit of an imposter in some
Yeah.
of those rooms. So I do like what you're saying there. All right,
Yeah.
so the tradition on this podcast is that you name the episode. I don't know if you remember that.
Do we?
Yeah. So based on everything that we spoke about,
That is tough.
it is tough.
Based on everything we've spoken about. I'm crap at thinking on the spot as well.
That's all right. I mean, I can put that down as the title if you want.
I don't think you'll get many listeners.
I think I'll get a lot of listeners.
Actually, that would be quite funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You really want that to be the title? I'm crap at thinking on the spot. You really?
Keeping it real, crap on thinking on the spot. Yeah, why not? What else?
Uh, all right, listeners. Crap at thinking on the spot. I have to check if I need to asterisk that crap or not.
Bet you will.
Well, this is that's the answer to why this episode is called what it is. Really, really appreciated the time with you today, Lisa. It was I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that conversation. But again, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.